secrets for success. Now, let me share with you real quickly where this has come from. So if you haven't already, they're on our website up in the right-hand corner. You see right up there where it says 5 Secrets to Success. If you haven't got an opportunity to get that downloaded, I want to encourage you to make a note that as soon as this webinar is over, go back to our website, go up to the right-hand corner, click that big old blue button up there, and it's going to bring you over to here. And it's going to ask you for your name, last name, and email address. Don't worry about it. If you're already working with a business coach here at American Business Systems, this is not going to change that. All it's going to do is they're just going to see that you requested this. But what it's going to do is going to give you the basic outline. So everything that I'm going to be talking about today, you're going to be able to go back and review. So again, I don't want you to miss this. This is so important. Outside of just going through this webinar today, you'll be able to go back through this 5 secrets to medical billing success and really dig in and have something. So if you go back and watch today's webinar, you're going to go, oh yeah. And I know that Eric didn't talk really about this, but I see this in here and I can see how all this is connected. So let me again encourage you to go back to our website, go up to the right-hand top corner, click that big old blue button there that says the 5 secrets to success, get that downloaded. And if you want to do that right now, you can go do it a little bit. I don't want you missing anything, because the first thing I'm going to do is start with the number 1. You can see there it says educate to build trust. That's where I want to start right now. So let's start with this. So let me ask the question. Let's say that you decide to get started today and you get through all of our training. Why would people use you in the first place? I think we all know that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. This is not rocket science. This has been known forever and a day. Why do I like to do business with people? Because number 1, usually I know them, or I know someone that does know them. So that know process right there could be a relationship. It could be an acquaintance. It could be a business partner of mine, or what we call power partners. And we're going to show you how to get that done and build that. Obviously, who wants to do business with anybody that they don't like, right? I mean, who wants to do that? But how do we develop people to actually start liking us? Well, I'll tell you one reason, or one way. I was actually talking with a guy today, and he makes it an effort for people to like him in business, because you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to find out what other people like. If you've met this guy for the very first time, he's not going to start telling you all about himself. If he notices something about you, or maybe you would go into your office and see that you're maybe a UT Texas fan, or that you like baseball, or he sees that you got pictures of children or grandchildren up on your desk, he's going to say, hey, tell me about your kids, or tell me about why you like UT or whatever. So he's developing a relationship with people by him asking others about what is their interest, because that builds a likeness with each, and then obviously you can see that leads to trust. So for ABS owners, we set you up for success so that you know more about medical billing and revenue cycle management than most doctors do. And how are we going to do that? So the first thing I'm going to share with you and offer you this afternoon is an opportunity to get a book. Okay. Now, some of you may have already received this book. Some of you might know where to go get the book, but I'm going to tell you, as a gift from us to you today, we want to make sure that you have what we feel like is one of the best things to help you educate yourself. And that is the New Thriving Medical Practice. Now, I'm going to take some time and share with you the importance of this book and how it's going to be important for you as you become a business owner here at American Business Systems. And I'm going to share a couple of the nuances to this book. But let me tell you how to get this book. So as soon as, again, after the webinar is over today, I want you to get back with your business coach and say, hey, Eric shared with me to get back with you because I want to get a digital copy of the New Thriving Medical Practice. Now, what you can't see behind me, because I've got this screen up here, it says American Business Systems, and it's kind of a cool thing. But right behind me is a bookshelf. Now, I literally have books. I could turn this thing off and try to share it with you, but it kind of gets goofy there. But I've got books that I've had for literally years, and I still go back to them. I've got a book here. I'll turn around over here. Right off the bat, I'm able to turn around here. I'm going to see, okay, hey, it's popping up here. This is one of my favorite books. It's called The Six Thinking Hats. I'm not selling this. Well, kind of goofed up there. I'm not selling you this book, but I know where it is. I know right where some places I directly want to be able to go in this book. Why is that? Because I utilize my books quite often simply because I need to sometimes re-educate myself. I tend to, well, we all tend to forget some things once in a while, but I have hard copies of stuff. So, but if you like a hard copy, I can't give you a hard copy, but if you want to, book is on Amazon.com. You can go out there and go get it. It's $25. And if you're thinking about getting involved, you may want a hard copy of it. We're not making any money off of that. I'm not here to sell you a book to go off of Amazon. You can get it completely free from us in a digital copy, and I encourage you to do that. But here's the thing I want you to do. If you get it, I really do want you to read it, because inside of it is going to give you all the information that most doctors don't know. And if they do know, they know that they're having problems. Now, the features of this book. Let's talk about the features of the book. First of all, you can see it's written by Patrick Phillips and Dr. Vicki Rackner, MD. And I told you I'm going to talk to you about Dr. Rackner here in a moment, but I'm going to reserve that just for a little bit. But also at the bottom of the book, you see it says The Foreword by Susan Smith. Now, that's a made-up name that we have here to demonstrate what we're talking about here. So as you can see here on this next slide, what we do, since these were printed on demand, and it's a real book. It's about the same size as the book I just showed you there. This is a real book, and we're going to give you the opportunity to have written the foreword to the book. So I kind of went back a slide here. You can see there it says Patrick Phillips and Vicki Rackner, foreword by Susan Smith, which would be you. I see Betty's here, so it'd be Betty and her last name, CMRM, and then there is a pre-written forward to the book. Now, some people said, I like the forward that you've already written. I'll accept it. I love it as it is. There are some people who said, you know what? I really wanted to make it mine. That's why I'm offering you the book now to start reading it. So if you would like to go in when you're ready to join American Business Systems and you want to come with a prepared forward to the book, we'll actually put your writing into the book. Now, think about the credibility that brings to you, because you're now part of as an authorship to a book. And that's the way doctors all look at it. I don't know about you, but if you do read books, you always want to find out who wrote the foreword to the book and why. Because it's someone that's saying, I've read this book and this is what I like about the book, and I'm recommending you the book. That's what you are here in the beginning. So as you're trying to build your credibility for people to know you, like you, and then obviously trust you, this is how we're going to educate you to build this trust. We cannot express more of the importance of how important this marketing piece for you becomes a part of as you're trying to get started with your practice in medical billing. So again, I kind of blew it up here. And this is about it's an 8.5 by 11 book. So this is not a little booklet. This is a normal size type of business type book. Now, the next slide I'm going to share with you is something you're going to learn during the training class. So once you become part of American Business Systems, and then you finally get your kit of all of the material that you have, which is one of these is going to be a set of these books. And you get this, when you go through training, your trainer is going to say, okay, what I want you to do is get a copy of your book, one of these books out. And what I'm going to do, we're going to go page by page, not directly page by page, but every so often there's going to be some pages where she's going to say, I want you to turn to page 24, and you see the third paragraph there. Yes, I've gotten to page 24. I see the third paragraph. She's going to say, I'm going to make sure that you take out your highlighter, and I want you to highlight the first two sentences of that. And then before you move on, take out your little tabs, and I want you to tab this. You can see it just like right now. You can see the way that it looks there. So the reason we do this here is to help the doctor, when you give them the book, to be able to go to certain parts of the book that are very important to that doctor. We already know where they are. And so what we're doing, we're helping the doctor shortcut their busy schedule instead of reading this 200-something page book, to be able to go, wow, they've already kind of tabbed some of these out there. I'm going to go to that. Wouldn't you, if you received this book and you go, oh, wow, they can do this. Oh, wow, they can do that. This happens to me. So we're teaching you from the very beginning how to market this book. This is from this alone, folks. Most of you that are on the call today, the folks that are on the call, you're trying to figure out, okay, I probably have on my desk 3 or 4 business opportunities I'm really reviewing. American Business Systems is one. I like it because it's a clean business. And what I mean by clean business, this is something that you're not having to stock books and or equipment, or that you're trying to resell something. It's a clean business because it's a business-to-business type of engagement. And obviously it's in healthcare. And healthcare, again, is still a very growing type of sector in the market. If you haven't watched it, not last Wednesday's webinar, that was the day before Thanksgiving, and Adam did that one, but the one prior to that, I actually went through the growth process of where revenue cycle management or medical billing is going and what direction it's going. It's still huge out there. And folks, really, for you to make a decent living, you need maybe 2 doctors. That's really about it. And in that webinar, I think I showed about how quickly you can get to with 2 doctors, you can actually get to a 6-figure income. Because one doctor is going to generate anything from, let's say, at the lowest, $40,000 to $45,000 up to $60,000 to $65,000 per doctor. So you can see there pretty quickly you can get to that, what we call the magic number, a 6-figure income. Because that's really about where most people are. They need to be making anywhere from $85,000 to maybe $120,000 a year to be able to step away from their job. Or if you've already got some savings and you know that you can really work this business and get to there, then you've got it made there. But I wanted to show this to you because we want to teach you how to utilize this book. Now, folks, as you can see here, I've spent a great amount of time so far just on this. I mean, it's 25 after the hour already, and I want to get through all this, but I want to make sure stress this, because this, folks, is such an integral part of you getting started. Because, folks, we can do all the training for you, and we're going to do all the training for you. We're going to be ready to help you do demonstrations of the software. We're going to do that for you anyway. But what you want to know is, how do I get that first client? I want you, if you were to join us here at American Businesses, I want you to be billing within the next 6 months or less. And the only way to be able to get you there is make sure that you can get that first doctor. Plus, we have all of these are postcards. Now, we call this drip marketing campaigns. We've already got it all built up and ready for you to go. So imagine that you have met a doctor and you want to keep your name up in front. This is the best way, through what's called AutoCard, which is another service that we have. This is something that you can utilize as part of your marketing, but then also it's something that the doctors can use going into 2024 to remind their patients. We have an entire different campaign for doctors, again, to help them get more clients and remind them of annual wellness visits, their annual physicals, and those are 2 separate things there. Mammograms, checkups for their children, just reminders of throughout the year some things that they might need to know, and getting and what can be included is just happy birthdays, folks. Imagine that your doctor is sending you a birthday card in the mail, and this is through the mail. These are not e-cards; these are actual cards. And so when we kind of think about this, and we call ourselves American Business Systems, it's American Business Systems for a purpose, because we have a system. And I get a lot of questions. I haven't gotten a question yet, so I'm going to keep talking. But a lot of people ask, does your system work? It works when you work the system. What we've seen are people who have what we would think have failed, or what you might call failure. They maybe haven't gotten a doctor within the time frame that they're thinking that they should have gotten a doctor is. And we kind of coach them, and we kind of go through them saying, tell me what you've been doing. What and we find out that they've left the system. They try to do some things on their own, and then therefore all of a sudden they're not doing as well as they probably think they should. We get them back on course, and we get them going. So how do we support you again on that success? It all begins with your training. This is one-on-one through a Zoom call, just like what we're doing right now. This is a webinar, but it would be a private time for you to do it. So I understand that I think there's a husband and wife couple on here today. And so both of you, for the same price, can go through the training together simultaneously. Others have asked, well, what if I have a business partner, or I've got a couple of business partners? Can they go through the training with me? They can. You can work the business together. You just tell us who to send the invite to, and we will put those people in that training with you so that you can do this. Now, this is your training, though. So whenever I'm saying that other people might be in your training, these are people that are going to help you. These are not people that are from other billing companies. So it's not like going to be a group training like what we're kind of doing like right now in this webinar. This would be your training specifically for your time. You invite the people that you want to this. Van's asking how often the doctors change to a new billing services. I'm going to get to that here in just a minute, and I'm going to tell you why they're going to change. And I'll tell you, now's the time. So I always think about the last 3 months of the year and the first 3 months of the next year. So I always kind of think of myself, you got about a 6-month window that doctors are really trying to figure out what they're going to do for the next year. Now's the time where doctors are thinking about changing or will change. And then what do I say thinking about changing? They're thinking about changing now. They may not change until May or June. So it's not like you're going to lose this window here, but now's the time that they're thinking, because they're trying to figure out, wow, things don't look as good as they did maybe in 2022. I didn't do as well in 2023. I got to change something going into 2024. So this is where they're trying to figure this out. And I'm going to tell you, there are more than just what you think of as primary care doctors out there. There are a lot of specialties that you can go out there and help support. And you're going to learn that during that training. Then we support you through educational webinars. So outside of just doing your regular training, just about twice a month, we do a collective a business owners education, where we get all of the ABS business owners together. And then we typically do that on a Friday because we want, you're trying to do your work and get everything done. And then boom, we want to make sure that we can have more training for you. So we've got more training, and all of these that we've done, we've already got recorded. So that once you become a business owner with us, you got access to all of that too. Then Dr. Rachner, this is a good time for me to tell you, because we're almost at the bottom of the hour already. Next week, I'm interviewing Dr. Vicki Rachner. So put that on your calendar. That is next Wednesday. I think that's December the 6th, same time that you showed up for today. I'm interviewing Dr. Rachner. The reason I'm going to interview Dr. Rachner here is because it's going to be important that you get to know Dr. Rachner, not only as who she is, where she was at one point, and what she's doing now, but she's written other books that we haven't co-authored with. You can see there, The Myth of the Rich Doctor. You can actually find that on Amazon too as well. But that book alone is helping doctors to figure out, you think you're rich, but you're really not. And it's really talking about what is the state of your financial health, doctor. So folks, this is important. But if you look just to the right of that, there's a letter. And you can see there, it says, "Dear physician, are you leaving money on the exam table? Through running my own surgical practice, I discovered the critical importance of keeping track of how money flows in and out of your practice. You might be surprised to learn that doctors in private practices, on average, walk away from about 30% of their income. The most common cause, the failure to collect their hard-earned fees. Today I call on my experience as a surgeon in private practice and on the clinical facilities at University of Washington School of Medicine to help physicians thrive. My goal is to help physicians in private practice and achieve personal, professional, and financial goals that attract them to a career in medicine. My colleague, and you see there it says Jane Doe of company name. This is where your name goes and your company name goes. She's going to say, my colleague, and I'll just use Brenda. This is my colleague, Brenda, owner of, we'll call it Medical Billing Thriving Medical Billing Company. Share my commitments of helping physicians private practice retain their autonomy. This is why I've included in closed book, The New Thriving Medical Practice, as a gift to you. I co-authored this book with Patrick Phillips, the chairman of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And I am so impressed with the leadership, vision, and value of Myrma. There's Myrma again, that I've recently accepted their invitation to serve as their chair of their advisory board. I hope that you find value in this book. If you'd like to find out just how much lost revenue you could recover each month, Brenda has offered to perform a complimentary practice analysis to help to find out if you are maximizing revenue each month. Simply call Brenda's number and mention my name. Are you letting that sink in? This is the first time ever I've read that entire letter on a webinar, because I want this to sink in. Because what's happening here is Dr. Vicki Ratner will send a book on your behalf. Actually, you get the letter and you get to send it to the doctors that you're looking at. And Dr. Ratner is the one that's doing the invite for the doctor for you and making this introduction. This has gotten our clients, our business owners here at American Business Systems, their first doctor alone. This is so important for you to understand and grasp. This is something that's included in your cost. This is nothing extra that you have to pay for. Dr. Vicki Ratner will be on my webinar next Wednesday. You got any questions about what we've just discussed, you're going to be free to ask her next Wednesday. So I want you to be a part of next Wednesday's webinar. Invite your friends, invite your any business people that you want to trust, because you're trying to make this decision, and have them on this call with me next Wednesday with Dr. Vicki Ratner. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit, because we also have a lifetime of access to our private portal, which is called the ABS LSS, the licensee support site. I've gone into great detail on this on some other webinars, so you can go find that there. This has all of the information you're going to need, all your marketing material, how to reorder if you need it, if you need to go back and review some training, it's all there. And this is where you're going to find out when the next business owner training's coming up, and that gets posted out there. Plus, you've got all the support from Myrma as we are there. That's number one. So what was number one? Educate to success. One of the things we want to do is get people to know you. We want to get the people to like you, and we want people to trust you. How do we do that? Because we're going to make you the expert. One of the ways that we're going to do this, now that you've completed your training and you've built your education business, we're here to help endorse you and get you out there. Again, we're going to do that with this book. That's why I spent a little bit of time here on this earlier on, and I've already spent some time here with Dr. Ratner sending out this letter to you. But behind you is an entire group of other ABS business owners here that can help support you once you've got a doctor and you're about to close that doctor. You need help? We've got expertise there that are other business owners that are glad and willing to help you. They are your now business coaches here, because they're already running their medical billing practice. They remember exactly being on the webinar just like what you're on right now. So folks, this is what you have here. Plus, you're going to get all of the marketing material. And remember, on these pieces here, you get to put your name, your logo, and again, the Myrma logo on here, and have all of your contact information on here. Plus, again, you're going to be part of, again, the nation's largest group of network of certified medical billers are revenue managers in the United States. And again, that's Myrna. So that's number 2. We're going to make sure that you are the expert. Number 3, I told you I have to speed up a little bit because I want to make sure to get to some questions. Betty's already asked questions. I don't want to get that answered here in just a moment. So now that you've got soaked up all the knowledge and you've built your reputation as an expert, now it's time to separate yourself from the competition. This is what we're going to do. Again, this whole platform that I've already shared with you is, to me, it's second to none. Now, what makes this second to none? What makes this platform better than any other platform out there? Folks, what I could tell you right now, if you wanted to, you could take all the information that we've given you so far, and many of you have been on these webinars for quite some time. You probably know what I'm going to say just before I get it out of my mouth, because you understand that we're part of what we're trying to do is really educate you. And you could probably take all of the things and kind of just say, gosh, they've given me a pretty doggone good education of what I need to do to even get started in medical billing. Now, you won't have all those fancy looking books and materials and everything else, but could you go out there and go start a medical billing business? Yes. Could you go out there and go find your own medical billing platform? Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. But what you won't have is the support mechanisms back behind you. And this is where NextGen and American Business Systems come to play. Because, folks, what we're going to do, there's eventually going to be a time where your doctor is going to want to see a demonstration of your software. And you're going to need to know how to navigate through that. So even if you went through training next week and you were able to complete everything in 10 days and you said, I'm ready, I got a doctor that wants to see everything, what are you going to do? How are you going to demonstrate it? We do your demonstrations for you. And whether it's for iClaim or EMRX, we are going to have a Zoom meeting just like what we're having right now with you, with your doctor. You're going to be able to do what's called a practice analysis, get that back to us. So we already kind of know a little bit about the doctor. We already kind of know what the questions they're going to ask anyway, but we're going to be able to be there and lead this doctor or a group of doctors, what we're able to do through you or what you're going to be able to do for them utilizing this software. Again, what makes this stand out? I'll give you one little hint. Whenever you're doing claims billing or claims management, you have to have a medical billing platform. But there's another key element that you have to have before you actually send it to Medicare or to Aetna or United Healthcare or whatever insurance that you're billing out to for that particular doctor. There's a thing out there that's called a clearinghouse, and that stands in between the billing system and those insurance companies. And that clearinghouse will take your claims that you send out and then format it, get it ready for how Blue Cross Blue Shield wants it and versus how Medicare wants it and how these other companies want it. Now, the difference is between ours and theirs, many others that are out there, is that inside of iClaim, our clearinghouse is already built into it. That's a key element. And I was expressing this to a group of people just 2 days ago. And they went, so do you mean that it's like once you get through a claim and it kind of goes internally through the clearinghouse, it's like going directly to the insurance companies? I said, yeah, that's what's happening here. And they just went, we've never heard of that before. And so this is the thing that doctors go, wow, I didn't know that. And there's some other elements because we have our own clearinghouse, that things that we can do that we're going to demonstrate for you, for your doctor, that is literally going to set you apart from all others out there, plus all the other services that we have. Now, I'm going to talk about one right here, and it's the one at the very top, virtual care. What is virtual care? Why is that important? Folks, y'all just remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, we went through a pretty big ordeal here in the United States called the pandemic. What happened? Everybody shut down, including doctors' offices. Nobody could get to the doctor's office, but the doctors needed a way to monitor their patients. We have that capability. We have a capability right now that you can show the doctors how they can remote monitor their patients, whether it's blood pressure cuffs or glucometers or whatever else that they need to monitor. Plus, it's going to make that doctor money. That's important. So having that type of support and some things that you can share with the doctor, that not only can you do their billing, but you've got other services like virtual care to help that doctor monitor their patients a little bit better. Even if it's just a handful of them, let's say 5 or 6 patients that the doctor's monitoring over a period of time. Folks, this is powerful and something that, again, no other business opportunities that I know of out there. Virtual care in and of itself could be its own business opportunity if you really think about it. But again, we want to show you again how we're separating you from others. And like I've already said, with the websites, these websites that you can see a few templates here, we got several from you can choose from, will help separate you out there in the marketplace as well. Again, because you're going to have your own URL. It's going to not have anything to do with Myrma. It's not going to have anything to do with American Business Systems. It's your personal URL out there. And plus, again, all of the flyer material that's out there that you'll be able to leave behind or share at a meeting that you've gone to with a doctor or somebody that you run across that are become power partners. I'm telling you, once you kind of get into the community of healthcare, people start to understand what you do. They know some doctor out there that needs your help. They're more than happy to be able to do that. Talking about referrals again, how do you help get to that first doctor? We found one of the quickest ways to gain trust and authority with an audience is get referrals from someone that person already trusts, and that's what we're going to show you how to do. We're going to help you build that quickness. We call them power partners. Now, how do you create a power partner? Well, first of all, you got to remember when you talk to somebody that you're not trying to sell anything to, then you're not losing anything. But we've got this down. We've got this so down that, again, many people find this the fastest and one of the quickest ways for you to get your first client. One of the things that you can do is hire people, or not necessarily hire them, but partner with people who are already doing business with doctors already. We're going to show and step you through how to use this type of networking to get your first client. Like I said earlier, this is one of the #1 methods for our business owners to get their first client. Now, this is a little screenshot that I've taken from our licensee support site. Remember, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, and you can see this is a video. So if once you go through training on warm marketing, and you might think, man, I need to get a refresher course on that. You don't have to call us up or do anything. Just go back over there. Now, you can always call us. Our coaches will help you go through that. But this is what you're going to be able to have at your fingertips. Then we're going to show you how to create your Facebook group and LinkedIn groups so that you can be a part of what we're doing and getting some information. But we're going to show you how to market through social media. This is very, very important here in today's world. Okay. Sonia, you got a question. Betty, you got a question. I'm off. So hold on with me. I'm going to try to get through a lot of some of this other stuff here because I want to not lose time, but hang on with me. I'm going to get to your questions. I haven't forgotten your questions. The last thing, nurture your contacts. Now, remember, these are the 5 secrets of success. I know I'm kind of going kind of quickly. I've taken a little liberty on some, maybe a little bit faster in the middle there. That's why, again, I want to encourage you to go back to our website, click that button up there at the top, that big old blue button up there, get this downloaded so that you can kind of go back through and read it at your pace. But what I'm trying to do here is kind of give you some of the biggest highlights and some of the things that you can take away from today and really understand. So now we want you, now that you've created this environment that you got people who know, like, and trust you, you kind of set yourself to be the expert out there. You've started to develop these power partners that you're with. Now you're starting to get some doctors that are interested and they're calling you or you're getting appointments. Now we need to learn how to nurture those contacts. This is a part of developing and growing now your market because, folks, this can be time consuming and it can be laborious. So again, we want to show you how to do this. So we want you to show you, we're going to teach you, first of all, how to offer ongoing contacts with best practice support. And we're going to show you how to do what's called drip marketing. Again, remember those little postcards that I showed you there? You're going to utilize, I'm going to go back over here to this slide right. Well, where is it? I'm going to get to it. Right here. Remember this slide? And it said something about AutoCard. See right there? That's one of your services that you're going to have. So through AutoCard, you're going to learn how to create, and we already have them. We already have campaigns out there ready for you to start what's called a drip marketing campaign. Now I just got to find back where I was. There we are. So these cards, let me show you how, let me tell you a personal testimony of how this works. Some back whenever, gosh, it's been years now, bet you 10 years now. And we had this developed. And I went to Patrick. I said, Patrick, I would really like to see this in action. I said, so let's create a small little billing company to test all of our support mechanisms out there. And so we did. So we did all the networking like we would teach you to do. We started getting some contacts. People saw that we were to be trusted out there in the market. Had a couple of doctors that reached out to us that we'd like to find out a little bit more about what you're doing. Immediately at that point, I knew where their office was because we had gone out there to go visit with them. And immediately we put them on a drip marketing campaign. Now, let me show you what happened next. So Patrick and I actually went out there. We made a call on them. We visited with them. And they said, you know what? We want to be transparent with you. We're looking at your company and we're looking at somebody else. We said, okay, no big deal. We get a call another week or so. They said, you know, we've decided to go with the other company. All right, no big deal. What we didn't stop, though, was the drip marketing campaign. What happened is that the other company couldn't get things going for that doctor. About another month went by. All of a sudden, I get a call. It says, hey, Dr. So-and-so would like to know if you and Patrick would like to meet him at his country club. He'd like to have you for dinner. Absolutely, no problem. So we show up, sit down there with the office manager, and we were waiting for the doctor to show up. And she looked over, she goes, you know how you got this appointment? I said, tell us how we got the appointment. She goes, you know what? You kept sending us these postcards, and you guys are geniuses at marketing. She goes, you didn't bug us, you just kept drip marketing who you were and some of the services. And I finally just looked at the doctor. I know this other company might have been a little bit cheaper, but these folks know what they're doing. And by that time, by the end of that evening, we'd signed the contract. That's a personal testimony that I know that this works. So this is why it's so important for you to do the system like we tell you. That's what we want you to know. But folks, what we wanted you to catch out of all this, there was a main theme. I don't know if you caught it, but I'm going to share it with you. The main theme here is that here at American Business Systems, we're here every step of the way, from your initial training. And let's even back it up to today. We're here today, taking time on a Wednesday afternoon, week after week, giving you information and many times training you through these webinars. What you see, the consistency here on our webinars, every week, 52 weeks out of the year, we're here every time at the same time. We're here even before you become a business owner to help you with your initial training, and then your ongoing support here with lifetime resources and more. We're here to help you, train you to be prepared to really have success. We're not just here to get money from you, put you through training, pat you on your head, give you a little certificate, give you a couple of marketing materials and say, we really do wish you the best and we hope you go out there and do well. We're here for you. We will be here for you. If you need counseling, you need more coaching, you need whatever, you need help with trying to figure out how to name your business. Folks, we're here. We've been there. All of us here at American Business Systems, and including people that in support, have been exactly where you are today. So we're here. That's what we want to be able to do. So as I kind of close up here, again, this is some good time for Q&A, giving us a little bit of time. I've given us enough time that if you've got some last minute questions here, you can certainly ask. So I'm going to go back over here, Betty. Betty's asking, what is the yearly cost after the initial fee? Betty, there is no initial cost. There's this one-time investment of $28,990. That's the last thing you'll ever pay American Business Systems. And I really do mean it. There's nothing else that you pay ABS. Now, I will have this as a caveat because we want to be transparent here. all these different services that I did share with you earlier on, and I'll see if I can get back to those. I'll just put it up over here. I'll put it this way. See, you see all these different services that are there. So let's look at Audit Guard and CodeWrite. Okay, so those are professional, what's called professional coders, and they're called CPCs, Certified Professional Coders. Now, obviously, as you start in the beginning, you can't go hire a professional coder. It would take you 2 to 3 years for you to become a professional coder. Why would you need to carry a payroll of somebody like that? And why would you want to go to school to become that? So these services, Audit Guard or CodeWrite, are services that we have certified professional coders that will do your coding, again, for a fee. Now, these fees are what we call wholesale fees, which means that there's money for you to be made on there, because the doctors don't expect you to do that for free. And so you're gonna charge the doctor accordingly to what their needs are. So just like the billing. Now, if how you want to bill your doctors, and we're going to help kind of coach you through that on what to charge the doctor, what percentage to charge a doctor. If you want to charge a little bit higher to maybe include a couple of these, you can do that all day long. What I did, I always separated mine out. I had a percentage that I charge a doctor, but if the doctor needed some extra coding, or if they wanted to do an audit on their current codes, I said, it's just going to cost you this. And they do, okay, no big deal. Let's just do it. Same thing with Quick Collect. Same thing with Compliancy Guard, HIPAA compliancy. I tell you, this now's a great time to be talking to doctors about HIPAA, because they have to, when they're going out of 2023 and going into 2024, they have to update all of their HIPAA compliances. There's new rules out there that they have to train and retrain their people. Now, there's a cost to that, but why have some HIPAA compliancy officer on your team that you're having to pay a payroll for? So these services, and so those are paid to those as needed. In the world of healthcare, there's a thing called PRN. That's just as needed. These are what these are for. So that's why you never have to pay American Business Systems for that. You're just paying services that are needed, and the doctors are paying for those. This is nothing that you're having to pay for. So Betty, I hope that helped answer your question. All right, Sonia is asking a question. What happens if you make a mistake with the physician billing? As a business owner, are we responsible for troubleshooting the issues? Yes, to a sense, yes. If there's a mistake that's made, and it's very rare, because and the reason I say it's very rare is simply because when you're doing the codes, when you're processing the claims, you're getting two sets of codes, Sonia. You're getting what's called a procedure code, and then a diagnosis code, and then a procedure code. You're getting those from the doctor. So you're not doing any coding anyway. And in iClaim, you're going to put those, you know exactly where to put the diagnosis codes. The diagnosis code is so different than from the procedure code. You can't get those mixed up. And if you do, they're going to say, that's the wrong code. So, and then before you actually send it out inside of iClaim, it scrubs it, and it's going through the clearinghouse. So it's going through a second scrubbing. So that's why rarely would you ever be, quote unquote, making a mistake. The only mistake that I would tell anybody that they make is just don't do the billing. That's a big mistake, obviously. So, and then the money, whenever the doctors are reimbursed, the money's not going to you. Remember, it's going to the doctor. It's going to their bank account. So it's not like you can even find a way to abscond his money or her money. So you're not going to be making big mistakes, Sonia. If there is a mistake, you just get it fixed, and we will help troubleshoot that with you. So if you got anything there, so I completely understand. Okay, Muhammad's asking, sorry, could you repeat the cost again? And what does it include? It's $28,990. Okay, that includes everything. That's your training, that is your lifetime of support, that's all of your marketing material, all the services that we've talked about so far. Everything's included. Again, you just pay for what you need for these other services. We'll explain that to you. Your business coach can take some more time and kind of explain that to you after the webinar. Again, we're transparent. We're not trying to hide anything from you. What we're trying to do is provide you with services that you could literally start tomorrow and start making money. Because remember, you're going to make the money. Mostly, you're going to make it on the billing because you're doing the billing. But on some of these other ancillary services, it's really just that you're using those. Sometimes you're using those to get your foot in the door. I liked using HIPAA compliancy to get my foot in the door, and it didn't matter what time of the year that was, because I would walk in and go, "Hey, I'm here to speak to your HIPAA compliancy officer," and you would have thought I was the FBI, because they're going to go, "Oh my goodness, what did we do? Are we in trouble?" You can see where I'm kind of going with that. So I kind of played up on that a little bit, and I just say, "Hey, you know what? I'm giving a talk in another 2 weeks. I'm going to be doing it online, and I'm talking about some of the new information that's out on HIPAA." And some things that your staff may or may not know about. And I'd like to just share that with you. It's a free webinar that we're going to be doing. I want to share that. Or I'd come in and say, "Hey, you know what? If I can come into your office, I don't mind coming and doing during a talk during lunch, bring in a little lunch for you one day and show you, share some of that information, have a Q&A time there." We've got all of that material already written for you. So it's nothing that you have to write or rewrite or do anything else like that. So, but Mohammed, all of that's included, everything that I've mentioned to you. Betty's asking, how about if you already have coding experience and certification? Betty, if you've already got that, that's a plus. That's a plus for you. What you're getting from us now is a support mechanism. What we have found, we've had a lot of folks that they've actually had their own medical billing companies, but they needed the support and they wanted the marketing support. How do I build my business? We've had people in here that have come in here who've had medical billing companies for a couple of years or 5 years, and they've come across as they go, "Wow, ABS has some marketing things I've never even thought about, and I want to grow my business." So whether you come with some certifications or some training already, or you're just as green as it comes to medical billing, you don't know anything about it, we're here to help both types of parties. We can certainly help that. Betty says, last question. That's okay, Betty, you can ask as many questions as you want. Do you have a fee sheet for costs of using these services? We do. We should have some type of fee cost. And I'm going to show you where you can kind of look at that, and I'll show you here in just a moment where you can kind of get some of the information like that. Van says, in this business, do we work 9 to 5 every day, or how? Let's say you have 2 doctors. Okay, so let me kind of tell you the time frame. And folks, it's right at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go over just a little bit. So if you guys are okay with it, hang in there with me. All right, so if you've got a couple of doctors, how long does it take you to do billing for 2 doctors? I would tell you 1 doctor should take you no more than about 2 to 2.5 hours to do billing. And that's really the whole revenue cycle management. So two doctors, 2.5, so that's about 5 hours a day, maybe 6 at the most. So you can kind of take your time. You could think, I could work on 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, take a lunch break, an afternoon coffee break. That's really what it's going to take you. And again, remember, that's going to probably net you somewhere between $80,000 to $120,000 a year with 2 doctors working 5-6 hours a day. That's pretty good money if you think about it. So that's what it should take you. That's kind of the rule of thumb, that when we had our billing company, that's what we kind of looked at. And so, it's going to depend on how big you want to get it. You want it to go to 3. If you want to get it over 3, you're probably going to start hiring some people. Obviously, we've got folks here that we'll be interviewing hopefully before the end of the year that have 25 to 100 clients. But obviously, they're not doing it themselves. They've got people that are doing that. Mohammed's asking, do we provide any financing? We don't have any in-house financing, but we do have some sources and some resources that we can turn you on to. So you can get back with your business coach there. Brenda said, are there other webinars that are live? The only webinars that we do live are the ones that we do on Wednesday afternoons at this particular time. So we do those every Wednesday at the same time. So Brenda, you can tune in anytime during those. We do have all these others that we have done in the past. They're all recorded. So you can go back and I'm going to show you where you can find those. Mohammed, is it mandatory to be HIPAA certified to run a medical billing company? If yes, should we register if it is an individual or organization? We're going to help you through your HIPAA compliancy part of it. in that licensee support site that I was telling you about has all of your contracts, all of your agreement, but it also has an important part in there called a business associate agreement. That's what we're going to teach you how to utilize, because that makes sure that you're HIPAA compliant, so that when you go back behind the glass and you're starting to meet with the doctor's office, that's one of the first things you want to make sure you get signed, so that when you kind of cross that line, you're entering into that doctor's world. You're probably going to see some patient information. I like to play it safe, even if they're not a client of mine. I like to have that business associate agreement just to protect them or to protect us. So we're going to show you how to do that. Brenda is asking, it depends on the biller, maybe. I'm not sure what that meant, but maybe I've answered your question already. Brenda says, okay, thanks. Maybe I did answer that question. Okay. Terrence, do we have different criteria for like principal, mid, preferred, director program with different amount to pay for? Okay. So let me explain what Terrence is asking. Do we have different levels that you can get into? We don't have that. Everything that I shared with you so far, all those different services are what you get with us. We don't have like an entry level, a mid level, and then like the platinum level, so to say, that you can join us for $50,000. We actually thought about that several years ago. And we just concluded, Patrick, Adam concluded, there's no reason to do that. What we have is a system. We would like people just to, when they're getting involved with us, you get everything we have, including if we add new services. We don't say because you're a premium versus a platinum that you can only get new services. We've never done that. We didn't feel like that was a necessity to be able to do. So we just kept it as, here's our price. This is our package. We try to keep that package as low as possible and give you the biggest amount of bang for your buck, so to say. Because folks, just if you think about it, if you got a doctor that's kind of interested in using your services and we do your demonstration for you, folks, that alone, most people would pay $20,000, $25,000 to do, because you're going to make that up within the first year. If you think of that, that's just cost of doing business. But whether you want us to do one demonstration or 50 demonstrations, there's never a charge for us to do as many demonstrations as you want. We're here to help you get that done. Let me close out with this, folks. Last thing. What we do have that you can take to the bank, because we know that you spend your time and your effort attending these webinars, and to some degree, again, we want to make sure that you know and you like us and that you trust us. And the way to build that is to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So once you've completed your paperwork and you've funded your business and you still go through training, that training is going to probably take you less than 2 weeks to complete. You still have probably another 2 weeks to still evaluate. Is this something that I want to stay in? If on day 29 or day 30, you say, we've gone through the training. I think all your stuff is great. We just don't want to do this. It's okay. Just ask for your money back. We'll get your money back as quick as you. We just do an exchange. We just get all the material back from you. As soon as that's done, we give you your money back. We shake hands as friends, because we really want, this is one of the things that Patrick always stressed to me, and Adam does now, and that is, folks, we want people who are confident to be a part of American Business Systems, because there's so much that we invest in you on the front end to get you up and going. And we want you to be happy. We don't want to feel like anybody's taking your money here, or that you feel like you're trapped. You've got this exit pod here. If you need to take advantage of it, you can do that within 30 days. So let me tell you what your next steps are. Obviously, I've already told you to get the 5 secrets. That's where you can go to our website, click that top button up over there, get the 5 secrets, everything that I've gone over today, and more information in it. But there's another research guide. So someone was asking me, what about the breakdown of cost on these other things? Get the research guide. So request the research guide from your business coach. They'll send you a link. They'll get you a copy of it. It's a big, long PDF that you can have there. Second thing, I think someone else asked there about are there more live webinars? We do our webinars every Wednesday, same time. They're live. As you can see, we try to go through as many questions as we can. But if you've missed anything, you can go back to our website or our YouTube channel called youtube.com/YABS. All of our webinars that we do are recorded and they're sent up to YouTube. It takes about us a day for us to get it up there, but you'll have these up here in the next day or so. You can go back and watch this one again, go back, watch some of the other ones. And again, folks, don't miss next Wednesdays with Dr. Rackner. Go ahead and sign up for it today. Talk about something we want you to go do. Go talk to some of our business owners right now. Go back to your business coach and say, hey, Eric mentioned about an owner's reference list. I want to talk to some folks. This is the way to do it. And you're going to literally set up an appointment with other business people, other business owners of American Business Systems that you can do that. Now, I've talked to you about a live or a demonstration, what we do for you, for your doctor. Now, what I want you to do is take the time, carve out. Now, someone again asked me, do we do live webinars outside of this? What we will do is a live demonstration for you before you become a business owner here at American Business System. If you haven't taken advantage of doing a live one-on-one with your business coach, a demo of the iClaim and EMRx system, stop what you're doing, get that scheduled, and get that going. You need to get that done. That's something else that you need to do. Obviously, then ask to get the link to the purchase agreement to review that. It's about 5 or 6 pages long, probably not any more than that. But again, on the first page there has that clause in there about the 30-day money-back guarantee. We make it as simple as possible. It's on the front page. You can't get around it. It's not in fine print at the very, very bottom on the last little bitty corner where you have to have a certain powered magnifying glass to be able to see it. Right there on the front page. We want you to make sure that you get it. Get your funding together, folks. Now, again, this is thinking strategy right now. You know, if you start now, and I'm going to put a little disclaimer here. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a business attorney, but I've done enough business to know that if I start a business or I do any business things in a particular year, that becomes a write-off for me personally through the businesses that we have. So you're going to need to get with a CPA. You might want to get to say, if I start this business and I fund this business in 2023, can that be a write-off for me in my taxes? You might want to consider starting your business before the end of December 31st, okay? Just for that alone. Because if not, you're going to have to carry all of 2024 to do that the following year. So that's just something you can kind of think about here. And then lastly, what you're going to do, get your training going. We'll get you send it in. We'll get you all set up and get you going here. There's a couple of last little minute questions that have come in. Betty, you can have demonstration before. Oh, yeah. You can see a demo before filling out the contract. Yeah, absolutely. I want you to. I mean, we have no secrets here. Please, we want you to see the demonstration of that. Brenda's saying, how soon can you start with marketing materials after payment? just as quickly as you want to. Now, I would suggest, Brenda, that you go through at least the training, because your trainer there is going to really make sure that you know how to get the marketing systems going out. And what's great about that, Brenda, is that it's probably going to take you, I say 10 to 15 days of training, but through that training, about on third or fourth training, she's already going to be starting about teaching how to do marketing, and she's going to give you assignments. So it's going to be happening while you're in training. That's what's so great about the training, folks. As I kind of close out here, we used to do training where we bring everybody live into Dallas, and although that was so much fun and we had a wonderful time meeting new folks all the time, it was 5 days of live training. Seriously, it was literally trying to drink, the Pacific Ocean in a week's time. It's just a ton of information. But what we do now is, since we're doing this online, we're doing it personally with you one-on-one, and we kind of spread it out a little bit. your trainer is going to give you assignments. Okay, now that you've got this accomplished, I need for you to do this before our next training because we're going to review what you did between the last two trainings. Some of that's going to be in your marketing, Brenda, to get out there and start doing some of the marketing out there. So she's going to walk you right through it. Folks, today it's been a pleasure working and talking with all of you today. You got some great questions, and I hope that today's been a good. Oh, here's some more questions that have come in. Brenda says, thanks. Okay, you're welcome. Betty, this is probably outside of what you do, but I'm working with someone certified in teaching coding. Could you help set up websites to offer their services? That might be a little bit outside of mine, but you know what? Talk to your business coach. There might be some things there. Brenda says, thanks, Eric. Awesome webinar. Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, look, you know what the thing about it is? I always take these and I go, I just want somebody to be real with me, be transparent. We're just, think of it, we're having coffee at a coffee shop. We're just talking through some stuff. I feel like I'm part of your business coach already. I love doing this. If you don't know this, I've been with ABS for 17 years. The Phillips family is an incredible family. They've helped me and my family. I think what I offer on these Wednesday webinars is helping them, but I look at it helping you. And I know Thanksgiving was just last week, and I know some folks have already dropped off here. Those that are hanging in here, I appreciate you hanging up in here. But I give thanks for you because I get to meet new people. I might not get to talk with you, but you get to see me week in and week out, and so it's a pleasure. And I hope that some of you come on board with us. I think we have a great thing here. Obviously, if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be doing this. And whenever it comes to starting a new business, it can be a little scary. We all understand that, but hopefully, what you're getting from me through the webinars is what you'll find out is this is the same thing that you get once you become a business owner, that we're just here. We're just people working together, striving to help our communities, trying to help our doctors stay in business, and really helping our community stay healthy. Because if you think about it, if you got a stressed out doctor that can't think, they don't know if they're going to keep their doors open from month to month, they're not giving good health care. So if you want to bring a new level of healthcare to your community, help your doctors get healthy financially. This is a great thing. It helps all of us. Brenda says, as says today, I'm with you. Can't wait. I appreciate it, Brenda. I appreciate everything. Betty says, thank you. I appreciate everybody. Listen, if you got any questions, contact your business coach. Love to have you on board with us. Again, sign up for next Wednesday's webinar. Again, get back with your business coach. Get that demo signed up, Betty or Brenda. I can't remember which one said it, but we'll get you all taken care of. Folks, again, listen, have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next Wednesday. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.